Morning, folks. Well, it's actually midday, folks. How we doing? It is Friday the 29th of May. I actually checked the date before I got on here. I know, right? It's the third last day of my Me Made May challenge. And we're counting down. I'm getting there. So, on this day, I've got plans, I think, hopefully, for tomorrow's videos. I am renowned for actually not getting epic videos done on weekends, and I've planned epic videos for weekends, so we'll see how we go. I might be post doing them, you never know. I have stuff to do on weekends. I'm not here working. I am working, I promise. Alright, wearing today, hi, I'm Simone. I have a business called Goblin Fruit where I make things for other people, but this is all about the things that I make for me. So, sewing stuff. Hi. Intro. The cut, you've seen before, except for the top that I finished last night. So this is the top that I cut out yesterday and showed you how I did that. I sewed it up last night, and I'll tell you about how it went. The top you've seen before, or this cardigan, M7254 McCalls View C. So the one that she's wearing. And strange enough, the fabric is very, very similar. So kind of identical to the one that she's wearing. I think I didn't know what I was going to do with this fabric when it arrived. And then I saw the pattern and was like, oh, obviously. The skirt is self-drafted. Again, seen it before. Sorry, is that washing machine really loud? It's on spin cycle. Yeah, sorry about that. Life goes on. It's really grabbing on these tights. Yeah, as I've said before, these 3 bias cut skirts that I have are really not ideal for winter. I do not have ideal winter bottoms, like any of them. Except for maybe that skirt that I was wearing yesterday, the French terry knit skirt. I really do need to make more like winter weight bottoms. But to be honest, I've got like 5 or 6 thrifted heavyweight pencil skirts that I flippin' love. So next month I'll be ripping those out. I probably don't really need to make anything, just for the purpose of having me-made versions. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm quite happy with my pattern clashing today. I think, like as I said, this top I've made as a layering piece, so it was intended to be very fitted. So it is very fitted. Probably not the most ideal fabric to make something very fitted out of. As I mentioned when I was planning it, that it had as much stretch as the original top size that I was comparing it to, but it had a lot of grin through and I didn't want it to stretch as much. And then I turned around and just made it the same size-ish as, yeah. It's a good theory. It was a good theory. But in an ideal world, I'd be able to wear this top with this jumpsuit that I'd made up, only I haven't made it yet. And I haven't even picked up fabric for it yet. Well, originally I was going to make it out of the tencel twill that I have, and I've got some in an olive green, but it's summer weight. So this would be a summer weight thing with a long sleeve top. Yeah, plans are great. Probably should think them out a little bit more. Okay, so this top, if you didn't see yesterday's video, is this pattern. It's McCalls 7561 hacked into a top as opposed to the dress, which is super easy. I've just lengthened the bodice, and to do the dress, it's just a gathered skirt, jersey gathered skirt. So easy. So, I've made the high neckline and the long sleeve. And then I put a Peter Pan collar on it, which I am going to show you today how I did that. So I'll show you that little hack, how I pattern made the collar. So let's get a better look at it without my little tie. I'm going to have to get dressed again after this video. Alright, first off, how the sizing on the top went. So, yes, in this fabric, ideally it probably would be a little bit bigger. But I'm really, really happy with the pattern so that I can just make it in a whole bunch of other stuff. That the size that I chose was correct for a layering fitted skivvy. I like exactly where it sits on the shoulder, which is like the shoulder seam is right there. There's no fullness under the arm. It's all very fitted. Very happy with that. For this fabric, it could probably do with another inch across the bust, but that's only, I mean, I don't even know if you can tell on the video that there's just the tiniest bit of grin through still happening across the bust. And sort of in the back. Oh, I am so sore. That hurts so much doing that. So as I've mentioned before, here in WA, we were allowed to go back to the gym last week. So I've been going back to the gym. They were only allowed to do classes, and I don't normally do classes. I normally like use the machines and do the weights. So I've had to do classes. So I have now done my first body pump class ever, which was, you know, came out of that feeling okay. It's the F45s that kill me, and I have done those before. And last night was my second, so we're in week 2, so 1 a week. I am so sore. I swear she tries to kill me. And on Tuesday I did my first body combat class, which was fun. I love all the boxing stuff. I've decided I've missed my calling in life. I was totally meant to be a boxer. No, but my shoulders were aching. Like that bit between my shoulder blades. I was like, how can this be possible? I didn't even lift weights. It's just, you know, sore. And then on Wednesday as well, I've had my flu shot. So it feels like somebody's punched me in the arm. And this shoulder isn't like it's got issues. So thankfully I'm left-handed. So please appreciate how I took off that cardigan and the scarf, and now I'm going to put them back on again because it really hurts moving my arms. Oh. And yeah, I'm back at body pump again on Saturday morning. Tomorrow morning! Damn it. So overly keen. And yeah, clearly I'm making super tight tops because I feel that some magic is going to happen and I'll be a tiny person. It's a good theory. I've worked this hard. Why aren't I skinny? That's not what I mean. I don't need to be skinny. Alright, so this is the Peter Pan collar, which I'm just going to do a quick little tutorial today on how I made the pattern. It's just jersey. So just a cotton jersey, just the same, well actually a bit thicker, tiny bit thicker than the top. Probably the only issue that I have with it is I just overlocked it and then put it on because I was being quick. But I should have straight stitched it and then snipped into that seam allowance because there's a little bit of bulk on the curve, on the curve from the overlocking. So yeah. Note to self, don't do that again. I didn't put any elastic or anything inside the collar because I've just overlocked it in and then cover stitched it down, which is fine except for there is a tiny bit of tension just at that spot with the 2 join. I think it'll be okay, but it does seem to want to roll out and sit out a little bit right there, which a little bit of reinforcing probably would have been good. But I thought with 3 layers of this cotton jersey and this one being a bit thicker, I mean, yes, obviously it was fine here. It's just got a weak spot. Yeah, alrighty. So next up, I'll just quickly show you how to pattern the collar for a little hack. Oh, did I tell you that McCalls pattern that I did yesterday is still available? I did a little bit, tiny little bit of research. I got it at the Salvation Army, no, Good Sammy's. I got it at Good Sammy's in Morley for 50 cents. And this is actually the second time I've scored from there a pattern that's still available, that's current. So, yay. I think somebody must just do their one that they want or they cut them out. Yeah. Yay. Oh, man. All right, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, at the cutting table now. These edited videos, they take so long to upload. If anybody's got any tips for trying to figure out how to make that faster, that would be great. Alright, so how to put a Peter Pan collar on this dress pattern. Now, worth mentioning, when I traced out this high collar neckline, so this one, I did actually trace out the back neckline on the bigger size, which meant that it actually sat a bit higher. So that the back neckline is probably maybe 1.2 centimeters higher than the extra small that I traced off. Just because I wanted it to be more wintry and sit up on my neck a little bit higher. So I traced up the higher line for the higher pattern size. I hope that made sense. Oh, look. I've got both versions on there. So that was the original. And then I traced up this line. And then I think I smoothed this off so that when both... upside down, Miss Jane. When these pieces met up, that line was smoother. Can you hear my dog snoring? Hilarious. At least the washing machine stopped now, right? I was clearly supposed to cut that bit off and it didn't. Oh no, it's because it's doubled up. It's because it's both sides. Yeah. I can be accurate. See, I was accurate. Like that. Or more technically, where the seams meet, where the seam allowances meet. It should have been a bit more like that. 1 centimetre, 1 centimetre. I didn't use the full 1 centimetre. I just ran it all off on my overlocker. I barely cut anything off. So yeah, it probably ended up using about a 6 to 8 mil seam allowance. Right, okay, let's do this collar. So I used this book, so Pattern Making for Fashion Design by Helen Joseph Armstrong, which I've mentioned before, and for anything that you want to do, it's totally my favourite. I just found this whole section on sleeves as I was getting ready for this, and I was like, oh, that's a nice sleeve. Not that one. Bodices. Yeah. Look at this epic bishop. Beautiful. Beautiful. Exaggerated bishop sleeve. Basic bishop sleeves. Sleeves with a lowered armhole. Lots of things. Cow sleeves. That looks... wow. There is a pattern going around at the moment with that sleeve that looks really good. Maybe I'll try that one day. Yeah, okay, onto the collar. Oh, and it's gone all really grey again. Every time, the last week has just been alternately beautiful sunny for about 10 minutes and then stormy, grey, stormy. It's depressing. Right, so this is the piece that I did before. So I know kind of what size paper that I need because I'm just going to do that again. But I have folded it over this time so that I can double it up. You need your front body piece and your back body piece. Placing the centre back of the back body piece on the centre back, on the fold. So centre back cut on fold on the fold there. And then you need to match up your front body piece. Now I would go matching up, say, if that's my seam allowance, it would be this point, seam allowance, maybe a bit bigger than that, be this point, and you'd be matching those 2 points together. And that's your pivot point. In the book, it's probably easier if I do it this way because I can see through this one. Wow, I'm smart. Right, stay on the centre back line, you. Right, so in the book it says that these two pieces should overlap. For this one, the Peter Pan with a 1 inch stand full roll, they should overlap by 4 inches. I actually didn't go that far. I just did a 3-inch overlap. Just because it's 4 inches seemed a little bit extreme. So I think it was about there. Probably a good idea to mark in this point here so you know, can you see that? Like sort of getting ready to notch that to, this is the overlap point there, so it's the same line that goes through there. Then trace off this inside line. I'm left-handed, it makes, why do I set this up so that you're only seeing, never mind. Okay, centre back, to center front. And if I just fold this back on its fold and go, yes, that is my center front. There. Right. So that's the inside collar line. Smoothing this off through here. Alright, so next we kick this out by 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to guess what that is because that's what I did the first time. And kick this side in by 1/4 of an inch, so double what we did there. It's about there. So we're not using that line. We're not using that line. Right. And so now we need to draw on the design line for the collar. Alright, first on this, remember you need your seam allowance. So I'm going to go out this line, my seam allowance, before I do my design line. It's just making this up. Where's a ruler? Yeah. Now, the collar that I did on this top, I did 7 centimeters. So, 7 centimeters, which would include, you know, this much seam allowance here, this much seam allowance here, and then it rolls a little bit. So it's quite a petite collar for a Peter Pan. I mean, there are certainly much bigger ones. 7. Yeah, I'm so sorry that I flick between centimetres and inches. It's probably really confusing. But this book is in inches, and I live in Australia. We're a metric country. I mean, as far as maths go, maths in metric is so much easier than doing it all in inches. But I guess you get good at fractions, right? Everybody over there really good at fractions? Wow, can you hear that rain coming down? Oh, no, we've got thunder. Oh, man. Seriously, it was sunny half an hour ago. I was out there checking out my garden. Everything's growing like mad. I mean, it's a very dry place here. I'm just fudging this. I'm just kind of doing a line that I think will work. What I recommend when you do this is once you've cut it out, put it on yourself or on a mannequin to get a rough idea if you like that line. I mean, you know, I could do a pointed collar. You get kind of weird, do all sorts of things. Anyway, we're doing a Peter Pan. And yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm just going to draw through that was my shoulder line so that when I lay it on the pattern, and this is my center front, center back. So when I lay it on my my other pieces, once I've made my top and want to put my collar on, it will make sense. All right, scissors. Ha-ha. I mean, obviously you can be a ton more accurate than I am, but I'm just trying to demonstrate, I mean, with these videos, is that there's nothing to be afraid of in pattern making or, in sewing, like drafting your own things. It's like, it's not as hard. I think a lot of professions are not as hard as people make out, you know? It takes a certain amount of time. You've got to put in the hours to kind of be able to know when you can fudge it and when you can't, and, you know, kind of what you're doing. But that's just time. It's not difficult. And until, I guess, you put in the time and sort of know what things you're at, then yeah, it's really good to learn proper practice. And that's why you should read a book like this and not listen to me, because I am not the queen of proper practice. Yay! So that's the collar. That's what it would look like. How does it compare to my one that I just did, that I made on this one? Yeah, I did a lot more kick out on this one. So yeah, that's the one that is on the shirt that you can see that I'm wearing. So, but I feel pretty confident that either would work. This one would develop more rollover as it came in, because it kicks out more. Whereas this one would probably sit flatter on the body. Yay! Right, that's it for today. My Me Made May day 29. I'm nearly there. Thank you so much, guys. If you like this video, do the little thumbs up thing. If you haven't subscribed already, that would be great if you wanted to subscribe. Yeah, because I will continue doing this, I hope, in the future with probably more planned videos rather than my everyday scramble. And look, I have learnt some editing that, you know, in this last week. I think I've improved. I feel kind of bad because everybody's sort of starting this series, I notice in the views, on day one. And I feel in day one I was very anxious and possibly have calmed down. I don't know, that's my opinion. It's hard to be natural, just talk. Oh, look, I talk to myself a lot, let's be honest. But this is more talking to myself louder, naturally louder. Trying to be cohesive. It's difficult. Anyway, have a wonderful day, guys. Sorry about all the background noise in this video. I hope it's not too bad. And can't stop the rain, I guess. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.